Lou's class is selling t-shirts for a fundraiser. The supplier charges $750 for the initial design and setup, plus $5 for each imprinted t-shirt. The students sell the t-shirts for $15 each. How many t-shirts do the students need to sell to break even? And how much profit will the students make if they sell 150 t-shirts? So this is a pure business application. Who needs math anyways? If you want to get into business, you need to know your math. So as a business application, you need to know a few things. The first thing you need to know is you need to know the cost. How much is cost? How much is revenue that is generated? And you also need to know what is profit. So in this question, when we take a look, it says that the supplier charges $750 for the initial setup and design, plus $5 for each imprinted t-shirt. So when you look at this, this is your cost function. So your cost function is $750 plus $5 for each t-shirt. Then when we look at the second part of this question, the students sell the t-shirts for $15 each. This is your revenue function, and the revenue is $15 per t-shirt. So once we have that information, now we can take this and we can define your variable. So the variable is T. So let T represent the number of t-shirts sold. So what it's asking you here is it's asking you how many t-shirts do the students need to sell to break even. What is break even? Break even means that break even in business means that the cost is equal to the revenue generated. That's what it means in business. The cost is equal to the revenue that is generated. So in this case, we have a linear system, two equations with two unknowns. The cost equation is going to go on the left side of the equation, which is 750 plus 5t. And the revenue generated is going to come and be on the right-hand side of the equation, 15t. So in this situation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the equal sign in the middle. I'm going to collect all the variables on one side and all the numbers on the other side. I'm going to choose to collect all the variables on the right-hand side. So with this 15t, I'm going to subtract 5t from both sides of the equation. And so therefore, I'm only left with 750 on the left-hand side of the equation. 750 is going to be equal to 10t. I'm going to now divide both sides of the equation by 10 to isolate the variable, and I will get an answer of 75 equals t. So when you look at question number 1, how many t-shirts do the students need to sell to break even? That's your answer. Therefore, the students need to sell 75 t-shirts to break even. And what we can do to make sure is we can do our check, which I should have done before, but I'm going to do it now. And our check is going to be the cost. The cost is $750 plus $5 per t-shirt. So you're going to have 750 plus 5. Gotta turn on my calculator here. 5 times 75 gives us 375. And when you add these two numbers together, then you will get an answer of 1125. $1,125 is how much it's going to cost to have 75 t-shirts made. The revenue generated is going to come from $15 per t-shirt, $75. When you do that multiplication, 15 times 75, and you get an answer of $1,125. So doing the check afterwards, I know that I'm correct. Now we have to go to part B. This is where it's important. Part B says, how much profit will the students make if they sell 150 t-shirts? So the profit function, oops, I don't want a red pen there. I want to have a black pen. So the profit function, that's very important for business, is going to be equal to the revenue generated minus your cost. So it's telling you that you are selling how many t-shirts? 150 t-shirts. So if the revenue generated is going to be $15 times 150 t-shirts minus the cost, which is $750 plus $5 times 150 t-shirts. The revenue is going to be 15 times 150. So you're generating a revenue of $2,250. And the cost for you to make 150 t-shirts is going to be this here that you can put into your calculator. You can get 750 plus 5 times 150 gives me 1,500. 1,500. So now when I figure out the profit, I'm going to subtract these two values, 2250 minus 1,500, and I get an answer of $750. That's the profit that they are going to make.
That was easy.